Get this on. Yeah. Get this here. There you go. After getting this green light to leave, Hashem says, your plan is not my plan. Your plan is just to go down for a short visit and see your son. My plan is you're going to go in there and you're going to stay there. I'll bring you back up later, generations later. But it's clear to us the wheels are rolling for the performance of the promise of Hashem, the Brit, the swearing of God to Avram Avinu, of Brit Bain, Habiturm, the covenant of the pieces. Yadoa Teda, surely you shall know. Ki ger yezaracha, your seed shall be a stranger. Be'eretz lo lahem, a land that does not belong to you. Va'avadum, they'll be in servitude. Ve'inuatam, they'll be afflicted. Va'charechen, and afterwards, yetzu be'rechush gadol, they're going to leave with a lot of possessions. God is running the show to build a nation of God, a nation of Israel. Yaakov is now made aware of this plan, that he's going down, and a goy gadol, a great nation, will be made out of him. In verses 5, 6, and 7, such details of the departure, all the assets, possessions, livestock, everything. What's left in Yaakov's house in Hebron? Is there a little chair or table? Is there a washing machine? No, nothing. As my father-in-law writes, based upon the great commentators, the land of Israel is emptied out of the seed of Yaakov Avinu. Nothing belonging to Yaakov Avinu is left here. All his objects, all his possessions. So in other words, one second, the result of the details told to us right now, that nothing is left of the seed of Yaakov in the land of Israel, in the land of Canaan, and that's what's going to happen now for a period of 250 years of the 400 years.
Isn't there a midrash that either slaves or the Talmudim or whatever?
I'm not knowledgeable of that. It could be. I'm not aware. I'm not knowledgeable of that. I'm sorry. So here we have the Yerida of Yaakov going down to Mitzrayim. Some of you are aware on the Haggadah, in the Haggadah, on the Passover night, we have excerpts from the section of the Bikurim, Deuteronomy chapter 26. And there we're told midrashic explanations printed into our Haggadah that says, Vayered Mitzrayma. He went down to Mitzrayim, and the midrash says, Anus al pia dibur. It's out of Yaakov's control. It's according to the utterance, the decree of God. God is running the show. One important statement I just want to share with you, Rav Kook writes, when he talks about, in the book of Orot, about Am Yisrael, you and you and you and me, we all have freedom of speech, freedom of action, freedom of choice. But as far as the nation of Israel is concerned, from the beginning and forever, the nation does not have any choice. God will use, manipulate, do whatever he wants in his will, above and beyond the choice of political leaders and this or that. God may be revealed through political leaders and great rabbis and military leaders and so on and so forth. But the direction of the nation, God is leading. The nation doesn't have a choice. He's above the choice. This is an example. Yaakov thought he's going down. He just got he went to the Ministry of Interior, got a short visa to go down to Mitzrayim. God says, no, you have an extended visa. You're going to be going down there for a long period of time because I'm going to be making what I, hundreds of years ago, swore to Avram Avinu. Okay. And now, in verses 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, until the end of the section, verse 27, we're told dramatically, in detail, wow, here are the names. Ve'ele shemot b'nei hu? Again, Bnei Yisrael, the lofty Yisrael, not Yaakov. These are the names of 69 names we'll come up with. All the children and all the grandchildren. B'li ayin hara. Okay? And we're told accordingly from the wives of Yaakov Avinu. First, the children of
Leah.
Leah.
Yeah.
Sum total of how many? Kids, grandkids? 33. And then we're told the children of who?
Uh,
In verse 18 of chapter 46, the children of Zilpah, because Zilpah is the maidservant of Leah. And how many members are going down? 16. And then, of course, the next wife, the children of, look at me, the children of who? Look at me, Rachel. How many kids does she have?
2.
And their names are? Please, in order. Yosef and Binyamin. Small family. Okay? But now we're going to see the 10 kids we talked about a few days ago. Right? Look in verse 19. I'm sorry, verse 21. Uvnei Binyamin. Please do the counting. Bela, Vecher, Ashbel, Gera, Naman, Echi, Rosh, Mupim, Vechupim, Ard. Wow.
from Rachel?
Binyamin. These are grandchildren of Rachel.
2, 4, 6.
It's 10.
10 kids.
10.
And remember, we saw the Rashi name of the Midrash. All the names have to do with what?
With Joseph.
Yosef. Binyamin is the youngest. He longs to see his brother that he had very little time together with him. So that's quite a family, isn't it? Binyamin, remember? What's unique about Binyamin different than all the other brothers?
He's born in Eretz Yisrael.
He's born in others on his t-shirt, what does it say? Made in Israel. Made in Israel. Okay? Made in Israel. Altogether, we have 14 members of the family of Rachel, children and grandchildren. And then we have the children of Bilhah, sum total of what? 7. And then the Torah tells us in a very dramatic way, verse 26, Kol anefesh haba'a liyakov mitzrayma. Notice, Kol anefesh. It doesn't say all the bodies, all the nefesh. Ken, come here, man. Come here. Come here. What's the matter? You don't trust me? Huh? I took a shower. Okay. Kol nefesh, you get special treatment. You're the Giborim from Sderot, the courageous members of our nation from Sderot. Okay, and they deserve special care. Would you give me a handshake, please? There you go. There you go. Kol nefesh haba liYaakov mitzrayma yotzei yerecho milavad neshei bnei Yaakov, all together 66. 66. Uh-oh. How many are missing? 4. So let's keep on reading. Kaf Zayin, verse 27. Uvnei Yosef asher yulad lo b'Mitzrayim nefesh shnayim. Well, the 2 kids born to Yosef, remind me their names? Okay. Menachem first and then Ephraim. Menachem first and then Ephraim. So they're 2. Okay. So that's 66 plus 2 is 68. I'm still missing 2. How do we get another 2? Yosef is 69. Okay. Please deliver Mr. 70, Mrs. 70. Yocheved, the Midrash says, she was what? Born as the entrance to the walls of Egypt. Mazal Tov. Who's the Abba and Ima of Yocheved?
Levi.
Amram.
Amram is her brother, right? Or her niece, right? She's the aunt of Amram, it says in Torah.
Right. So, one second. Who's the father of
She's the sister.
Yocheved?
Levi. She's the sister of the fathers of Amram. Kehati, Mahari,
Ken.
Gershom, and then...
So, again, so Yocheved is the daughter of Levi. So, she's a sister of Kahat, Merari, and Gershon. Okay. So, tribe of Levi. Sum total? 70. The Torah told us elsewhere the number 70. we asked ourselves, what's the significance of this figure, this number? And Chazal teach us, the nation of Israel versus, not in a game and not in a rally, versus the nations of the world. We are unique, we're different. The base number of nations in the world is 70 nations. That's the base number. Today, of course, if you ask for UN membership, there are, who knows, hundreds and hundreds of nations and so on and so forth. Many of them are Jew haters and hate the state of Israel. Clear anti-Semitism in the United Nations that represents world peace. That's a lot of garbage, as you know, or as they say in French, garbage. In any event, 70 base nations, the number 70, that number, that constellation comes from 70 members of the house of Avram Avinu to the house of Yaakov Avinu, now going down, and in the most impure, defiled land in the world, the land of Egypt, defiled with the worst and coarse, vulgar culture of terrible persons, terrible culture, there Hashem will personally produce, amidst the impurity, amidst the pollution, a pure object, a nation of God. He will do that no human entity can do. That from the impure, he will create something pure. And now the process, of course, is not simple. And now we're about to interview Yosef. Yosef, how are you feeling? You feel good, don't you? You know who's coming down now? Your father, your brothers, your sisters, your nephews and nieces. Yosef said about himself, go tell my father, he says to his brother, I am an Adon, a master of all Mitzrayim. And he offers something that, did he really have the power to offer? He's talking about a distant town, not populated. According to many historical investigators, this town with the letter Gimel called what?
Goshen.
Now pronounce it one more time, one more.
Goshen.
Not Goshen, rather.
Goshen.
Goshen, okay? Goshen. This town called Goshen, I read in an article of my dear father-in-law, Rabbi Horowitz. I wanted to share with you. Eretz Goshen. Why does Yosef, and Paro agrees, as we see later in the Parashat, to have the Hebrews living in an area that's not next to the city. It's not just a rural area outside the metropolitan. But Eretz Goshen, as we learn in some of the studies, is the eastern side of the Nile River, in between the land of Israel and the land of the major part of Mitzrayim. According to certain historical sources, only some 200 years did people start settling that area in this ancient time of Egypt, some 200 years before Yaakov coming down to Mitzrayim. Okay? When Avram Avinu came down because of the famine, okay, in the land of Canaan, that, according to some historical records, that strip of land called Goshen was given to Avram Avinu by Paro as compensation for what he wanted to do, Paro, with the wife of Avram Avinu when he took Sarai, his wife. Therefore, there's reason to believe, to suppose, that this strip of land called the land of Goshen was less populated than most cities and towns of Mitzrayim when now Yaakov is going down. Why do you think Yosef, and backed up by Paro, backed it up, why do you think Yosef wants his brothers there? Can you think of a reason? What is the interest of Yosef having Yaakov and his brothers settle in the land of Goshen?
To pasture.
To what? Pasture. Explain yourself. We know that Egyptian culture does not tolerate or accept shepherds because one of their gods is the lamb.
Yes.
So they're shepherding far away from the eye of the Egyptians. That's the understanding. Other reasons, gentlemen?
Far away from Egyptian culture.
Oh, assimilation. What will help Yaakov and his sons be preserved, be pastured, shepherded is the better word, as far away you can get from the culture of Egypt? Because that was a great fear of Yaakov Avinu, and that was assimilation. So the land of Goshen, which some say Tzoan is the name of the capital city of the area, helps us understand why that area is given to them. And now let's suggest something else. Yaakov is going to be living in Goshen. The capital of the kingdom is not next door. Yosef has a national position. He has public responsibilities, doesn't he? Is Yosef interested in meeting his father time after time after time? Or would he prefer to make sure that there are short visits as possible? What do you think Yosef wants to prevent?
Another problem with jealousy.
What else? What do you think, for instance, when you don't see someone for a long time, you start asking questions. Okay? You have curiosity. Who here will have curiosity?
Yosef.
Yaakov. What will he ask? What will he ask?
Because next story, Yaakov will ask, like,
how did you get down to Mitzrayim? What does Yosef not want to reveal?
What is it?
The sin of the brothers, exactly, Hananel. Very good. He wants to avoid it at all costs. He doesn't want his father to know the terrible thing that his brothers did. How do you avoid it? Yosef has a plan. I'll have my father and my brothers live far, far away. I'll go visiting once in a while. But when my father starts asking me questions, I'm sorry, Abba, I got a call. I got to go back to the national capital. I have public responsibilities. Plus, remember, this is still of the years of famine. Yosef, who's in charge of food rationing? What happens when people are depleted of their monies and their assets? They will sell their land to who? To Yosef. He's a busy man. So now we're beginning to understand the plan of Yosef to have Abba and his brothers be far away into Goshen. Now, that's with this plan. We'll continue our shiur the next time, which is right